Welcome back to the Millennial Kingdom. Madara Uchiha is probably the coolest villain in all of anime. At least to me, the personality that Madara displays throughout the show to me was pure genius, and Kishimoto couldn't have written a better villain for the show Naruto. And one thing I always found amazing about Madara is despite the fact that he's the show's main villain, and despite the fact that in the show he's directly responsible for, the suffering and deaths of countless lives and families, Madara Uchiha still has fans. Shoot, I'm one of them. Every time Madara would appear on screen, I would always perk up because I knew rather something great was about to happen, or I would just be taking mental notes as I studied the boss-like sub-communications that Madara Uchiha displayed at all times. Now, there's one thing that I learned from Madara Uchiha the most, and as I employ it into my own personal life, I've seen profound differences in my ability to get what I want out of life. That one major thing that I learned from Madara Uchiha is drive. Out of all the characters in Naruto, in my humble opinion, I don't think anyone possesses the same amount of innate drive as that of Madara Uchiha. That includes Itachi, Jiraiya, Sasuke, even Naruto himself. No one possesses more drive than Madara Uchiha. Really look at it from a bird's eye view. Madara was willing to do absolutely anything to achieve his dream, and because of that, he had the capability to sacrifice absolutely anything he needed in order to attain that most cherished vision for his life. Those things even included the sacrificing of his own family bloodline, the destruction of his own village, the death of his own brothers, and even the death of himself, believing in himself so much that he constructed a plan that would require him to sacrifice his own life with the belief that eventually, hopefully, he would come back to life and complete his plan. Now, I'm not saying any of that stuff is right or wrong, but my goodness, if that isn't drive, I don't know what is. The point is that Madara's temerity of will was ironclad, and his innate drive was on another magnitude. And many shinobi throughout the show were always claiming how they wanted to be a #1 ninja, or become top jonin, or become Hokage, and yada yada. But in all honesty, I'm not sure if any of them were willing to do the things that Madara did in order to meet their heart's standard of success, right? Now, once again, I'm not saying to go out and do bad things to achieve your goals. You don't necessarily have to become an all-out psychopath to begin developing your drive. I just love using Madara Uchiha because if you compare his drive to someone like, for example, Rock Lee, then it becomes quite clear there's a difference in magnitude. And it also it makes sense why Madara's name will be known throughout all the shinobi time and history books, and Rock Lee's name will merely be a footnote of his time, right? And that's not a slight against Rock Lee at all. I love Rock Lee. All I'm saying is there's different levels and magnitudes to how much you're willing, to complete your goals. And for Madara Uchiha, he was willing and had the drive to be a psychopath to get stuff done. Okay, now that I've covered that, how can we start to employ more drive into our own lives and begin developing this one skill that will easily and naturally begin to make us greater individuals and automatically more powerful no matter what context we're in? Well, there's the macro answer, which is of course life purpose. If you don't have a life purpose, then life just becomes boring and depressing, and in consequence there will be nothing to attach your drive to. So that's the obvious macro answer, and I'll be making a video on life purpose soon, but I want to speak on the micro level in this video. And on a micro level, one of the greatest exercises that if you start to employ immediately, it means you will become more driven. It's simply just becoming more competitive. By becoming more competitive, you would naturally begin to develop your drive muscles. Because everybody has drive, but unless you actually attach that drive to something, then that muscle will always remain weak and useless. No matter how small the context is, start to train your drive by becoming more competitive. This doesn't mean go out and be rude and try to, one-up every single person you meet, because at a certain point, you're gonna become annoying and nobody wanna hang out with you. Don't do that. But yes, begin training your mind to fixate on a goal no matter what context, and then do anything and everything you can to attain it. This is so extremely powerful, and it isn't hard to do either. You can apply this to all the things you're already doing. The key for this to work is to set goals. If you go to the gym, set a specific goal. Set a specific number of reps and do not leave the gym until that number is achieved. If you're studying at school, set a time that you must study until and do not waver until you've reached that exact time. If you're an athlete, do not leave the soccer field or the basketball court until you've made a specific number of shots or goals. You see how extremely simple and powerful this is? Yet no one does it. Most people are probably extremely lazy and they don't have goals with anything they do. Be different. Be the one in the family who stands out. Reach Madara levels of power and ability in your own life. But to do that, obviously, you need to possess the same levels of ability Madara has. And one of the main things is drive. Work on your drive on a daily basis and see the dimensions of power you receive as a direct result of your driven nature.